Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources.
One of the cool things, I remember Jennifer Barton with Seniors Helping Seniors, which is just a great organization because you hire seniors to help seniors. So number one, she's a great employer for seniors. Number two, she's a great service providing great companion care services for seniors. But the third thing is she's tried to stay cutting edge and really helped us figure out what I call the technology component, because, you know, we've talked about this a lot as a charity, that we want to get really involved in teaching seniors how to use technology. Their smartphones, because you know the doctor wants you to confirm your appointment on your smartphone, then the pharmacy wants you to make sure that your prescription's ready and you know about it there, and then your bank wants you to do this and all these different things. So we need to know our technology. But we used to, I remember it's not that long ago, we used to laugh at those commercials, the help, I've fallen and I can't get up, because we were young and we didn't get it. Now we get it, okay? But it's come so far from that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Barton.
Good morning, everyone. So we are going to talk about Electronic Caregiver, but we're also going to go back. Wrong way. We did go back. And we're going to talk a little bit about technology in the house, because I've learned a lot from my clients of different ways of making their lives easier, or maybe getting something done that they were not able to do before because of technology. And so I want you to think about leveraging technology in your house, because, you know, Seniors Helping Seniors, we're all about helping people stay safe and at home. So how can we leverage technology in the house to make it possible so that we can stay home? This is something I use in my house. I learned it from a client way back when. I went in to do an assessment. It was the first robot vacuum I had ever seen. This maybe 12 years ago. She had one for upstairs and one for downstairs. She had a 2-story condo. So she did not have to worry about it. She said, I can dust, but vacuuming, I'm exhausted for days. So she ended up getting the robot vacuum. Works beautifully. You can get one for fairly inexpensive. You can get one that's pretty darn expensive. It mops your house, and it mops too. It vacuums and mops. My sister has one of those because she hates to do floors. So it's just a silly way to utilize technology to help keep you at home, keep your house clean, do a chore that you didn't either like to do or maybe you couldn't do on your own. So it's a time saver. And, you know, if you're exhausted for 2 days because you vacuumed the whole house, that's not good. You're more at a risk for a fall when you're that tired out, and you're maybe not enjoying the things that you would normally enjoy because of that. So, you know, really simple things that anymore can be maybe $100 can help keep you at home, keep the house clean. Lift chairs. So it's the fun. You know, we want people to do physical therapy, go to see coastal occupational therapy. We want you to use your legs, but there are times that come to a point where sometimes we can't. And having a lift chair enables people to stay at home, you know, utilize their living room, and they don't have to go into assisted living facility because they've got these little technological pieces in their home to help them stay there. This lift button's my arch nemesis. I don't have one. My mom does, though. My mom is going to be 80 this year, and she embraces technology probably more than I do. So during COVID, I could tell Mom stopped giving me her list. She used to text me her list, and I would do her grocery shopping for her, and I could tell something changed. Because all of a sudden, her list came in alphabetical order. Instead of by aisle, because my mom is that, you know, it was, okay, dairy aisle, but all of a sudden it's coming in alphabetical order, and I realized she was using her Alexa. She started to use that to keep her grocery list together. She loves it. She uses it all the time. The whole house is now connected. Alexa, turn on the light. Alexa, turn off the light. Turn on the fan. She said it has made their life at home so much easier It's a simple way. It really is not that difficult, and there are people out there that can do that for you to make your house a smart home. But if you do have a little hard time with mobility, what a great way to be able to stay at home. And it's amazing. It can do lots of other things. You do have to remember Alexa's name, though. I got a phone call from my dad after she first put it in. He says, "What's that girl's name?" "What are you talking about? Give me something to go on here, Dad." "You know, the girl, she's playing music." "Oh, Alexa." He was doing every A name that he could think of. "Alexa, be quiet." Mom had left her running. He wanted to turn her off. So you do have to remember Alexa's name. But we also have the electronic caregiver. And that is something that we looked into pre-COVID, actually, because we get so many inquiries about, hey, I should have a safety alert button, but there's so many out there. I don't know what to choose. Do you have a recommendation? And we really did it for a long time because there were so many out there and I hadn't done the research. So we went ahead and started doing the research, and we found the electronic caregiver. Stephanie Tenney, a long time ago, so some people that have been around for a while might remember her. She was wonderful. She was right here, but she'd go out to the house, install the box, take care of everything. She was fantastic. Product was fantastic. And then she retired. So the company knew that we had referred to her quite a bit. So they came to us and asked us if we wanted to represent the electronic caregiver. I did my research again and said, yeah, actually, we really, really do. And then in 2020, Seniors Helping Seniors as a franchise during COVID looked into these buttons, and they came to the same conclusion that this was the product that they wanted to represent. So we were pretty happy about that. Because what it's designed to do is not only to keep you safe at home, but we want people to stay active and independent. You can take it outside. So it's got a watch, or you can wear it as a lanyard. This little piece comes off the box. It goes into my pocket, into my purse. No matter where I am, that's where it is with me. So if I fall in Wickham Park on a hike, if I go to Walmart and I fall in between two cars, nobody sees me, I can press the button. They're going to come exactly to where I am to help me. They're now, and it's kind of sad state of affairs, but they're now selling these to college kids on a large campus. You know, you're going across the UCF campus late at night. You're not fumbling for a cell phone. You know, realistically, if I'm trying to get my cell phone out of my purse, they've already got me. So this is just a press of a button and help is on its way. So we love that part of it because we can still keep people active. So it'll bring help in the house. It'll bring help outside of the house as well. It also can do medication reminders, maybe a blood pressure reminder. So you can program it however you want. Hey, at 7 a.m., remind me to take my morning meds. At 5 p.m., remind me to take my evening meds, or a blood pressure check. Like I said, anything that you want, you can program it to do. And what's nice is we do it here. Ricky in our office is the one that typically will go out, install it, program it however that person wants it. You know, they run it through its checks to make sure it's all working properly and exactly the way the client wants it. And then you don't have to be a Seniors Helping Seniors client. We've even shipped them up to New York to friends and family and pre-programmed it, shipped it so that it would work for them. There's also an app for that. So we were talking about caregivers earlier. So if you're the caregiver, right now my mom and dad are up north, and they don't have one of these yet, but I do have Live 360 on them, on their phones, so I can tell when dad's doing 90 on 95. And I can tell where they are. You know, just God forbid something happens, I can also tell where his phone is. So when he leaves it at a barbershop convention, I can tell you that it's still in the auditorium. Not a bad thing. But this would also tell me exactly where they were. So if dad was wearing the watch, I know exactly where he is, either in the campground or if he's going fishing or if he's up there golfing. We know where he is. You can set alerts so that, you know, if the daughter is up in New York and mom's down here, did mom get up and start moving around this morning? Did she go outside of the house? Did she make it to church on Sunday? You can set alerts so that, yes, are we stalking mom and dad a little bit? But we know that they're safe. And that's a good thing. That's peace of mind and it's not, to me, it's not incredibly intrusive. It's just giving a proximity of where mom is and knowing that she's up and around and that, we're good. Another way, and a common thing that we see with seniors, we're trying to keep them at home, but they're no longer able to really manage the medication on their own. So they're forgetting to take their medication. Or in the case of great-grandma Maxine, she would forget that she took it, and she would take it again and again and again. And so she would end up in the ER. No matter what notes or, notifications we would give her, call reminders, she would forget. So they didn't have these back then, but this would have been a great thing for her because it only allows you that one dose, that next dose, and doesn't open it again until it's time for this evening's. They come in weeklies, they come in monthlies, or the big box on the end, that'll do a 90-day supply. They go from technologically pretty basic, hey, it's time to take your meds, and it will keep bugging you until you finally go and open that little door, to a little bit more technologically advanced. You didn't open the door, it's going to call your daughter or whoever you designated to call. Hey, Mom, you haven't taken your meds yet. Is everything okay? What's going on? The one at the end, it will come up across the TV screen. You can integrate it with the TV, so there will be a message on your TV that says, hey, it's time to take your meds. And then call the daughter if you still haven't. And it will save, if you totally miss, it will save and it records, okay, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, she didn't take some morning meds. And we can look back and see what is going on those days in the morning that maybe is interfering, or what can we do to structure that routine differently so that she is taking her meds. But it's a way to, again, keep people safe in a home for a little bit longer. But medication management, that's a big deal. If they're not taking their meds, then they're more likely to take a fall, end up in the hospital. Something's going to be exacerbated because of that. Taking it one step further, Electronic Caregiver does a pro health section. So this is more, it does allow them to go out, but this is a little bit more for maybe someone with chronic health conditions where they're pretty much homebound, but they're looking at blood pressure, weight management, glucose, pulse ox. All of those things can Bluetooth right up to their doctor's office, to the adult daughter, to their case manager, so that it is being monitored, and it's monitored off-site 24/7 by an EMS staffed group. So what the hope is, before that blood pressure really goes out of whack, they're monitoring it and saying, whoa, it's starting to go up. She needs to get to the doctor. We need to figure out why. Maybe there's a med change. We need to do something before it becomes a problem versus after. So getting ahead of it, making that plan of getting ahead of it instead of reacting to it afterwards. And that's really, we have seen where this, we've had a client who is going to the hospital, rehab, coming home, hospital, rehab, coming home, that vicious cycle. They've been able to do this in the home, Bluetooth all of those vital health statistics to the doctor's office, and they've been able to get a handle on what's going on when, because it's constant. We get to the doctor's office. How are you doing today? Today, I'm great. I pick on my sister about this. She has a chronic health condition, and she goes to the hospital or the doctor's office. She's great. But you need to keep a diary because last week you were terrible. But she's not remembering that. She's remembering today, I'm good. Yeah, but last week, your blood pressure was horrible. This is going to show them that. This is going to show them statistics over time. Yeah, your blood pressure right now and not in the doctor's office is wonderful, but last week you were high 4 days. So it's a good tool in the toolbox. They also have telehealth. So you never spike a fever at 9 a.m. on a Monday. you spike a fever at 2 a.m. Saturday night. Just, Murphy's Law, it never fails. So the telehealth portion that comes with it is not a bad thing. It's a supplement to your primary doctor to be able to call and say, hey, this is what's going on. I don't know what to do about it. What do you recommend? They also have access to all of that data. And so they're going to give you a recommendation. It might be, we're calling 911 for you. Or it may be, this is what we think you need to do, and we want you to follow up with your doctor tomorrow. But at least you have a professional opinion right then and there that maybe give you peace of mind. You know what? That's okay. Your blood sugar, yeah, it's a little high, but it's not that high. Don't worry about it. Call your medical professional in the morning. So sometimes it's just peace of mind. So technology in healthcare. And I'll be honest, this has taken me a little bit to get my head wrapped around this, because mom and dad are actually better at technology than I am. I don't have an Alexa at the house. I'm less technologically advanced than mom and dad are. So do we want technology in our lives? Do we want it in our healthcare? Well, over 150 million Americans live with one or more chronic diseases. We're currently 6.5 million doctors short. I fact-checked that because I thought, really, is that true? I heard that a couple weeks ago. I went in and started looking on the internet, and unfortunately, yeah, it really is. 30% more are predicted to retire in the next 4 years. I think the statistic is in the next 10 years, we're going to be like 20 million short. I'm looking for a primary doctor right now because my primary retired. And right now I haven't found one yet. Not a good one that's accepting patients. That's going to get worse. So unfortunately, whether I like it or not, we're going to have to embrace some technology to help supplement what's happening here, in the United States. And really it's across the world that our medical professionals are retiring and the new ones are not coming in. So the benefit too is consistency. And when I think about my parents being here in Florida and then up in New York, this is a consistent thing no matter where they are. If they're here, if they're in New York, they've got doctors in both places, but electronic caregiver is going to go with them. And it's going to follow that blood pressure the whole way. So no matter where they are, that doctor has consistent results. And that's a good thing. So Addison is the next latest and greatest thing. And again, I'm trying to get my mind wrapped around this. I think my kids will have no problem with it all. Honestly, I think my mom would have no problem at all. My dad is going to have a hard time remembering what her name is.
Hi, Sophie. You wanted me to remind you when it's time to take your medications.
Addison is a 3D virtual caregiver, and she's meant to assist people in the home. Her base functionality is to help you with your reminder schedules and checking your vitals and emergency response. But even more than that, beyond that, she's meant to be a companion. She's meant to be engaging and help people really engage with their health.
It's one thing to have a piece of equipment in your home in which you're instructed to interact with. It's another thing to have a friend with you. So what happens is there's a level of experiential engagement that's unmatched with what ECGs bring to the table with Addison Care. And now you're going to have a situation where not only are we doing medical management, vital signs capture, but we're also addressing issues around social isolation, loneliness, because you have Addison with you all the time.
We know that care costs as you grow older, and even just for chronic conditions that can be very stressful on people's lives. What we're hoping to do with Addison is kind of provide an alternative to some of the options they might be seeing otherwise. We want people to be able to follow their care plan, or if something about their care plan isn't working for them, this is another way of flagging that. You sometimes don't get those, maybe it's a medication or maybe a scheduling type of issue. Sometimes you don't don't get those right the first time. And so I think Addison is a way to be able to give that visibility to people and to be able to make those adjustments in real time in a way that they probably wouldn't have been able to do without that software.
So the patient can interact with Addison through both voice and touch.
Thank you. Your temperature reading was 97.34 degrees Fahrenheit.
There's a module we designed called atmospheric mirroring with Addison, and on the base level, that's mirroring the time of day and weather conditions. So if it's raining where you're at, it'll rain in her house. If it's daytime where you're at, it's daytime in her house, so on and so forth. But to expand on that, you can also have her mimic your same beliefs and holidays and celebrations. So if you want her to celebrate Christmas with you, she can decorate her house during Christmas, Hanukkah, Ramadan. So initial launch will be just Addison, but quickly on the heels of that, you'll be able to start choosing from different avatars of different genders and ethnicities.
So they just launched this last week, and it's brand new. They've been testing it for the last 2 years and making upgrades and doing different things. And as you can see, they're trying to make it very personal to you so that people will accept it a little bit more. But it is an amazing technological tool to, again, try to help people stay home, manage those chronic conditions so that they're catching things before it happens instead of reacting afterwards. And if we don't have those medical professionals watching us, this is a great tool to be able to take because all of that data is kept. It's a tablet that sits on your kitchen counter, the kitchen table, and she talks to you. She, good morning, Kerry. It's time to take your medications. And she'll ask you, Karen, did you take your medicines? And Karen can say, yes, I did, or she can click, yes, I did. The camera is so acute, it sees if you've swallowed or not. That's the technology behind this. There's a module where you can put, that's not cameras, but sensors in the house so that it watches your patterns. If you're getting up once a night to go to the bathroom, but all of a sudden now you're getting up 3 times a night to go to the bathroom, maybe there's a urinary tract infection, maybe something's going on, maybe medication's off. What's going on? Why the change? And it makes them question. There's a care team, a remote care team that will call, hey, what's happening? All of this can go to the primary doctor. I mean, it's amazing technology. And like I said, it's hard for me to get my head wrapped around it. Like I said, I think my mom would actually be better with it than I would be because mom would sit there and play with it. I mean, she's got games on there that you can touch and play, mind games, solitaire, different memory type games that will help encourage people. I can definitely see if you are in a rural area, I'm from a very rural area in upstate New York, see what would be very helpful up there to help them manage it because they don't have enough people that can even come out to the house. They don't have home care. This would be a way to manage it. But I think even for us here, it collects a lot of data. It does a lot of reminders. It's very personal. Even though it's a computer, it is still, they're trying to make it very personal so that we can collect that data. Karen took her medicine every morning this week at 7. So it's not if her blood sugars are off or if her blood pressure is off, it's not because she's taking it at different times. That's good. We can eliminate that as an issue. Or she didn't take it until noon. That maybe is an issue. So it's amazing piece. This is the next latest and greatest thing. They're making upgrades all of the time. But it'll be interesting to see what technology has for us in the future. Again, it comes with all of the stuff that comes with the regular electronic caregiver. So you could still go out wherever you want to go. Walmart, and you're protected there, that telehealth. And what they're finding in the study groups is that people do have better health outcomes. They are getting ahead of things instead of being reactionary. They have been able to call 911. Addison has called 911 for people because of the statistics that they were given. Addison called 911. And rightfully so. And the person got the help that they needed quickly. So it's something to think about. for the future of how we can, if we really are in that much of a deficit for doctors, how can we leverage health technology to keep ourselves healthy so we can stay at home where we want to be. So I've talked a little bit about hopefully the benefits of technology, and I know Christine's going to talk a little bit about what we need to be kind of careful of with technology. Does anybody have any questions for me though first? Yes, sir.
How do you find out about it? Is there a caregiver's website that shows these new upcoming developments as to how are you aware of what comes about?
So Electronic Caregiver does have a really great website. Addison, we do our training tomorrow. That's how new this is. We actually go through our initial training tomorrow on Addison, so we really get to play with her and see what it does. And Ricky and I are both, give it to me, let me get my hands on it. We want to play with it so that we know exactly how it works, so that when we take it out to a customer, we can show them the benefits. And trust me, we'll play with it to make sure it does what it says it does. Because if you tell me it can do it, it better do it. Rick, yes?
But I'm adding further, is there websites, trade shows you go to find out about these new and improved bells and whistles that come along?
There are some industry trade shows. In fact, there's one this summer up in Orlando for a home care conference. So those help us kind of stay current on what the technology is out there. But I'll be honest, I learned a lot from my clients. You know, as we go out and we do home assessments and we're in so many homes every day, I learn a lot, you know, just from being with different clients and seeing what they do in their own homes and how they are utilizing technology to stay at home. So it's a combination. You know, unfortunately, there's no one-stop shop for it, but it's a combination of trade shows, you know, being on the internet and being in the industry and listening to clients, listening to other industry professionals and figuring out what's working.
I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.